Okay, everybody, this is Professor Tom Elmer. Welcome to our second special series speaker in the COVID-19 series that we, the Marketing 425 class and the American Marketing Association, AMA, are doing together in conjunction. And first of all, I'd like to congratulate President of the AMA, my former principal student, Gabby. You know who Gabby is. If not, you should find her. And then I want everybody to see that I am drinking out of my coffee cup, this wonderful marketing coffee cup done by my former student, Kaylee Richard, who can sell you one through Mu Capital, the honors group of the marketing department. So reach out to Kaylee and she'll take care of that for you. Now, let me introduce Alex. If you've ever been in a class, a marketing class of mine, you know Alex already because I teach Alex's value proposition model for job search. And you're going to learn about that today because it's the best thing I've ever seen in job search. And as a marketer, we're all about value. So without any further ado, let me turn this on over to my friend and the greatest career coach that I've ever met in my life. And you know how much I love to study this, Alex Freund. Come on down and take on over.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Elmer. I feel very, very honored. And, you introduced me so nicely. I will do it once a week at least. I mean, where else people speak so nicely about me? Anyhow, I welcome your invitation. And my objective here is to help the students. These are graduating students, hopefully very, very soon. And let's talk about their prospect and their ability to get into the job market. Going to university, and I've done that, is great, but this is not the destination. This is only the very beginning of the journey. The destination is to use what you learned at the university and put it into use. Hopefully you are able to convince an employer that you are worthy of being offered a position, and hopefully your career will start from there. So my objective today is to make this two-part presentation. The first part is my slides. I'll walk through it. I want to do it very fast because really the real value will come through your questions and hopefully my answers. What's on your mind is way more important than what is on my mind. So if you don't mind, I will go rather quickly through my material, and then I want to have as much time as possible for your questions and answers, and let's start going. Okay, so we are talking today about how to get a job post-coronavirus era, or right now we are in it. So I don't know how many of you know Dick Bowles. Dick Bowles wrote the book, What Color is Your Parachute? He wrote it about 45 years ago, and every year he had a new edition. When I was in college, actually almost 50 years ago, he already had his first book out there, very, very well known. And this is what Dick Bowles says. Again, he is the author of What Color is Your Parachute. He suggested that the difference between successful and unsuccessful job hunts is the way people go about their job hunts. And I totally believe in that. This is so true. Ben Castleman, he previously of polling aggregator 538, I think they're in Boston, has said the single biggest predictor of whether people will be out of work for a year or more is the state of the economy. This is very sad that we are meeting now because, the economy was fantastic 2-3 months ago. And I mean, it was fantastic. Companies were doing very well. They hired people. And I know it because my job is to help people get jobs. And all of a sudden, this coronavirus era came upon us so fast, so unexpected, and all of a sudden, things slowed down to a great extent. as far as you are concerned, graduating students in a month or 2 or 3, pretty soon. Unfortunately, this is not very good news to you and for you, but I'm going to guide you and show you a little bit what you can do in order to improve your chances. So let's talk initially about the hiring process. There are several steps. The first step is being in transition or planning a job change. Of course, you're not in transition because you are just at the very, very beginning of the road. You're graduating students getting out in the market, hopefully getting a job. Step number 2, you need to focus on an industry, a function, and a job title. Why am I saying this? Because you know the saying, if you don't know where you're going to nowhere. You need to know what you want. The next step is you need to look for opportunities and openings in the industry, in the field that you selected for yourself. Now this is the time to really dig deep and start looking for the openings and opportunities that exist. Step number 4 is you need to network into the job and applying. Once you identify what it is, now it's action time. Step number 5, hopefully you did a good job and you are selected for the interview. So that's good news, bravo, congratulations, that's great, but here are bad news. They invite other people, not only you. What does that mean? It means that you have to compete for it, and that's not easy. Step number 6, hopefully they say, come to my office Tuesday afternoon at 3 o'clock. I want to talk with you. In plain English, that is called an interview. Hopefully that is happening. Now you're on stage, the curtain is being opened, and now it's performance time. And if you do well, you're going to be very handsomely rewarded. Hopefully you're getting the job, and that's really what you want. I want to share with you some rough statistics. So say, for example, a corporate job posting generates 250 applicants online. 250, that's a kind of an average. I found this number by reading a lot about this subject. Of those 250, only 3 people are called in for interviews. Now that is very, very sad. 250 applicants, 3 are called in for an interview, and that represents 1.2% of the applicants. So clearly, my message to you here is, applying is good, it's important, but let's be realistic. Only 1% of the people are really going to be called in. Not so good news, by the way. A little more statistics. 40% of the job openings are filled internally through promotions and transfers. I liked this number when I saw it, because basically what this number says, if you already are inside the company, you have 40%, which is a very big number, 40% chances that you'll get a promotion or you'll move laterally. Positions are filled within the company, 40%. Honestly, this is fair. I remember the days that I was employed, and honestly, I enjoyed the fact that I was promoted and they didn't push me aside and then invited another individual from the outside. So being moved laterally or hopefully promoted within your company, this is a great thing. The next piece of statistic is this. 20% come from company websites. What can we learn from that? That you definitely should apply. Companies have a website, they promote and they post their openings, and definitely you should apply. This is your target, you're interested in, throw in your hat, apply, let's see where that goes. This is something that you like seeing here. 20% come from colleges, Third-party recruiters, these are the recruiters that bring candidates in, or there is something called temps to hire. Companies often lately hire you as a temporary worker, I meant to say, and if you do a good job and if they still need your skills, they will hire you as a full-time employee. So again, 20% come from colleges, recruiters, and temps to hire. And the last 20% come from referrals. And I want to talk with you a little about this. And here I'll share some information that I would like you to remember. A candidate who is referred for a position by a networking contact has 14 times, this is 1,400% greater chance of being called for an interview. So let me explain to you what I mean here. That if you have a neighbor, or you have a parent, you have a friend, you have a family member, somebody that can take your resume and walk it into the hiring manager or the HR people and put it on the desk and say, I know Mary, she's very good, I wish she would be considered. If that happens, you have 14% more chances than people just apply online. This is enormous. I don't know how to impress you. This is where you should spend your time, developing those internal people, those big-hearted people that are willing to really help you and take your resume and talk on your behalf at the employer that you want to join. Therefore, because all business is relationship business, and because people do business with people they know, like, and trust, networking is critical to every job seeker's success. Remember, these are key points, and trust me, I hired people for almost 40 years. I hired people because somehow I've gotten to know them, evidently I like them, and I also trusted them, because if I don't trust them or if I don't like them, they don't have good chances to work with me. I want to give you another perspective about what's happening behind the curtain toward getting an interview. And you see on your screen, my slide, the last one is in red, it's a job interview. Again, this is what you want. At least you want to get a job interview. And let me be very clear. Most people make a huge mistake, and I don't want you to do it. Most people, you know what they do? They take step number 5, which is called personal advertising. Basically what you do, you take your resume and you hand it in the hand of somebody that is willing to take it to the HR people or the hiring manager, and you tell them, oh, I'm looking for a job as a starting system analyst at this and this company. This is very, very bad. You know why? Because you are not doing what you're really supposed to do. And I want to take 2 or 3 minutes to talk about what is the right process doing. First of all, you are right now finishing your courses at the university. This is the time to do a little self-reflection, self-assessment. I remember when I went to my university, I happened to go to Cornell. In my senior year, I went to a place that was called Career Services. And I met with a PhD in psychology. I talked with him, and he gave me a battery of various personality tests. After they evaluated it, they scheduled a meeting, and I spoke with this individual, and I remember vividly, I mean, this was way back. I remember vividly, this is what he said. This is a job, and this is you. You have to perfectly match that company. If this is a company that's you, that's no match. If this is a company that's you, that's no match. You need to perfectly match into that company. And I said, okay, that's great. Thanks for sharing that with me. Can you tell me a little bit more? He said, well, based on your test, here is what I see. Don't get into sales. And I said, that's interesting, because I consider myself somebody who I can convince people. People trust me. People believe in me. He said, no, don't get into sales. I said, can you tell a little bit more? He said, well, yes, it appears to me that you are a person that is convincing, but let me tell you a little bit about salespeople. A good salesperson is given a chair by his boss, and the boss says, look, this is not a chair, this is the white horse. And now I want you to go out and sell as many white horses as you can. Now, a good salesman said, yes, sir, absolutely. I believe you. This is a white horse. I'm taking the chair, and I will talk everybody into that this is a white horse, and it's the best white horse that there exists, and they really need to buy it. And he said, you are not a person that can talk someone into something unless you believe in it. And I said, I know, you're absolutely right. If I believe in something, I'm very convincing. But if I don't believe in it, it just doesn't come out right. So therefore, I should not get into sales. That was a lesson for life. The step number one, again, after you've done your self-evaluation, and by the way, there are lots of tests out there to do self-assessment. MBTI is one of them. MBTI stands for Myers-Briggs Temperament Index or something like that, very well known. It's a personality test, very well known. There is another one called Holland. All these you can find on the internet. If you Google personality tests or self-assessment, you can find many of them. There is one which is called DISC, D-I-S-C, very popular lately. Again, I firmly believe that you should do personality tests. I'm a frugal individual. I don't want you to spend a lot of money. I don't like to spend money. There are lots of them that are very good, and they are either very inexpensive, $10, $12, or free. Do those. The next step is you have to develop your value proposition. What is a value proposition? The value proposition is what your future employer wants to buy. The value proposition, at its lowest, simplest way to explain it, it is answering to 4 basic questions. Question number 1, what is what you do? And the question sounds very easy and very simple, not so simple to answer it succinctly and eloquently. And when you do that evaluation, what is what you do? Again, make sure that you're not too long on that, and please do not brag on yourself. Nobody wants to hear you bragging. The next question is, who are your customers? Again, it sounds simple, but it is not so simple. You need to think about who are your customers, and some of them will say, absolutely, definitely, these are my customers. And some are clearly not my customers. But then there is something that I call a kind of a no man's land, which is in between the no customer and yes customer. And this is very difficult because you'll be sitting there and thinking, are they my customers? Are they not? So you need to make a difference between they are a customer and they are not a customer. When you are in business, you need to know who to cater to. The following question is this. What value they, I want to emphasize the word they, what value they perceive that you are bringing to the table? What you think you bring to the table is not important. What they think is very important. So that might be difficult because what I'm asking you to think with somebody else's head, how can you do that? But this is your assignment. Think about what other people think you can bring to the table. And the last question is, what's so special about you? What's unique about you? What is what you deliver that I cannot get anywhere else? This might be a kind of a very difficult task for you, because when I work with a coach and he asked me, Alex, what's special about you? My immediate reaction was nothing. I said, no, Alex, you're not going to leave here before you tell me what's different. What are you different than other people? I said, nothing, really nothing. No, Alex, you'll be sitting here for a long time. You need to come up with something. And then I started thinking about it. And believe it or not, I came up with a list of 15 items, 15, that makes me unique, makes me special. And if you are interested finding out what they are, you can go to my LinkedIn profile where I posted those 15 bullet items. Now, here is a difficulty. You're not allowed to brag. And I remember now that my coach said something that I will never forget. This is what he said. Alex, let me tell you a little bit about Americans. Americans have a very good sense of smell. If you brag, you stink, and they will run away from you. He had a good sense of humor. Okay, so the next step is personal branding. The basic definition of branding in a simple way is your brand is what other people say about you when you are not present. Everybody has a brand, hopefully a good one. Some people don't have a good brand. You know who I mean. You have in your mind some people that you don't appreciate them. They have a brand, but it's a negative brand. You need to build your brand. You need to support it. You need to cherish it. And it's so difficult to build a strong, positive brand. It is so easy to ruin it. So be very careful. I will talk a little later on, a little bit more about the brand. The next step is your personal marketing. You need to be marketed. And again, the course that you're taking is marketing. I don't know what Professor Elmer told you, but let me tell you what my definition of marketing is. Marketing is not selling. Marketing is educating your customers. Marketing is providing information. Yes, one element of marketing is selling. But don't think that I need to market myself means I need to sell myself. No, I need to educate the consumer, hopefully in such a way that they want to come and do business with you. You need to educate your future employer during the interview in such a way that they say, I want you. Yes, I want you. And the last step is personal advertising. So what is advertising? Advertising, the way I see it with my sense of humor is, get a ladder, an A-frame ladder, go all the way in the top, get yourself an old-fashioned bullhorn, and start yelling and so forth about yourself. Don't do it, but this is how I envision it. But advertising, you should attract people to listen and hear what you have to say. Advertising in business is very, very important. Do you know how much money companies pay for a 30-second advertising on national TV during the Super Bowl? We are talking mega bucks. So yes, advertising is very, very important. And you should learn and be able and do actually advertising about yourself. We'll talk about it a little later. Hopefully, if you do step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the proper way, chances are rather good you will end up with a job interview. So the question that came to my mind is, so how should you spend your time job searching? Well, clearly 10% or so you should do online applications. Although I said a little earlier, chances are not very good. getting an interview by just applying or throwing in your hat. But you know what? You definitely should do that. I don't want to discourage you. But the next large section of this pie is brand building. We will talk about that in a minute. I spoke a little earlier about what brand is. You definitely should continuously build your brand. But look at the blue part of this chart pie. Networking, 60% of your time should be spent on networking. I'm convinced that this is the right thing. There is a saying that I often share with my audience when I do public speaking. And this is what I say. 60 to 80% of people get their jobs by networking. And they look at me and they said, okay, don't take my word for it. Let's do an actual test right now. Please raise your hand if you have gotten a job in the past from networking, not for applying, just networking. Somebody introduced you and eventually it developed into a job offer. Actually, 80%, sometimes even more than 80%, people raise their hand. Evidently, they have gotten a job by networking. So yes, this is a fact. I want a little bit to talk about branding. The question is this: what are your opportunities for branding? Well, lots of opportunities. One of them is your LinkedIn profile. I'm going to talk a little later about that. Definitely, your resume is a branding collateral. Perhaps you write blogs. I don't know if you do, but this is a great opportunity because blogs have content. You can put it out on the internet. The entire world has access to it, so blogging is important. There is something called an elevator pitch. I don't know if you know what it is. An elevator pitch is a very short, probably a 30-second script that you are going to deliver verbally. It should be planned. It should be executed well with confidence. You should have a business card. Yes, I know that most of you have not graduated yet. Go out and get yourself a business card. You can get it at Staples. You can get it at vistaprint.com very, very inexpensively. Have a card. The card should not say more than your name, perhaps the industry that you want to be in, definitely your phone number, definitely your email address so that people can get back to you. And it's very helpful even to put your LinkedIn URL on it. So in case people want to look you up, that you are there. You should have an email signature. Every email you send out should have your name and your phone number there. Why? Because I learned this from recruiters. Recruiters are very much pressured with time. And this is what I heard from them. If I cannot get you on the phone when I need you, I move to the next person. So please facilitate, make it easy for them to find you. And then along the way, later on, you should have a bio. This is a kind of, it's almost like a resume. It's short, it's for advertising purposes. So let me ask you guys a question. Why a book has a preface? Again, if any of you can give me an answer now, Tom, if you can.
We're all muted, so I'll unmute. Let's check it. Hold on.
Okay. If they don't, then.
Okay, everybody's unmuted now. Ask the question again, Alex.
Okay, the question, why a book has a preface?
Who's going to try it? Anybody?
Nicole.
Yeah, to like introduce it a little, give you some background before really diving into the story.
Very good answer. Very good answer. Yes, the preface is essentially introducing you to what is coming. Here's my next question. Why an overture in an opera or concert? I love watching operas. I love classical music. I always listen to it. There is something called an overture. An overture is like 5-10 minutes of basically just music by the orchestra. I did a fair amount of reading about this. And again, remember that orchestras and concerts, operas, initiated, 300 years ago or so. It was an outcome of what used to be in churches. And they brought it out and they created an opera, they created a concert. Now, here was a problem. People didn't show up on time. And at one point, they wanted to start, but some people were still coming in. So they said, okay, let's give a little music background, and it's okay, people come a little late until they get settled. When they're settled, we can start. So yes, there is typically every opera, every concert has a little overture, a little bit time that they can get settled. But more importantly, they are preparing the audience for what is coming, what's next. Another example is why romance in a courtship? Anybody wants to answer?
Come on, somebody.
That's a sensitive subject, so perhaps they don't.
They're selling themselves. They're selling themselves to their future mate.
I have an answer.
All right.
Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, it sets the tone for a possible relationship. So, it lets the other person know what the other person is about really. Perfect.
Brandon, I don't want to influence Professor Elmer, but I think you should get an A. I really do.
Okay. All right, we'll work on that. All right.
Okay. Okay. So the next thing is why isn't an appetizer when you go to a restaurant? Why they promote appetizers? Because it's the same thing. It leads you into the entree. The entree in French means entrance. It leads you into the main dish. So let's ask a practical question. Why networking? Or I don't like to use the word networking because networking can be confused with the IT field, like networking computers. But here we are talking about relationship development. And what I said on the slide here is networking is a process of meeting people and building their trust in you. So why networking is important? I want to put it out. I want you to answer.
Anybody want to give it a shot?
Yeah, but you have to unmute them.
All right, well, hold on. Some chose to remute themselves. I keep hitting unmute all, and there's microphones that don't come off.
Okay.
Anybody want to try? Nick, come on, Nick, give it a shot. Nick, come on, you're in my class.
Networking is important just to you have more people to reach out to when you're in need or when they're in need. Just having people to watch your back and being able to watch other people's back.
Excellent, thank you. Preet, did you want to say something?
Sorry. It's a way of getting to know people before the interview.
Yes. All right. Now that whoever was just speaking, speak up.
It was me. I think that networking is also important because then when maybe somebody asks about you and they know about you, they can give a good word and say good things and get them to also know about you.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Great answer. Thanks, Mary. Okay, so there are two ways to network, virtually, in person. Again, there's no point for me to talk about in person right now because right now you cannot. You are quarantined, you are at home, you're not supposed to be closer than 6 feet from the next person. So we are talking networking. I'm saying about social media and email. I want to talk briefly about that. The different types of social media for networking. One is social media connections. You can do that through LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, perhaps there are some others. Then there is another platform, which is media sharing. And again, for that, I want to recognize YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. Any of you on any of these three? I don't know if you can raise your...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's on social media.
Of course. I just wanted to hear that. How many of you are doing some blogging? Again, probably the Cadillac, the very best known blogging platform is WordPress. This is what I use. This is what most people use. But Tumblr is known, Blogger is known. There are several others. By the way, any of you are blogging? Yes?
No, we've had some noise in the line.
Okay. Nicole, perhaps you do?
I don't actually know.
Okay, good.
We're good.
Yeah, let me share a little bit about blogging. Again, I've been a career coach now for 13 years. And I remember after several years, people came to me and said, Alex, why don't you put it in writing? Why don't you blog? You know what my answer was? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm not good for blogging. No, that's not for me. They came back again and again. And after several times, I said, well, perhaps I should do that. Well, I am proud to tell you, I've written between 250 and 300 articles. In fact, somebody from Canada approached me and said, Alex, if you write an article, I will pay you. Oh, you'll pay me. Oh, yes, I will write articles. And I don't know, for a year and a half or two, I wrote a blog. I wanted to tell you where it's published, but I can't remember right now. Anyhow, then later on, I was very honored and I was asked to blog for a company called personalbrandingblog.com. And I did that for probably 5 years. Every weekend, I sent them an article and they appear personalbrandingblog.com. If you, in the search box, put my name, I'm sure you'll find my articles. And they had some arrangements with Inc. magazine. I don't know how many of you remember Inc. magazine. There is something like that. Mm-hmm. There are some other very well-known publications. So my articles appear there. It's nationally advertised and so forth. I cannot believe that I am here in front of you and I'm telling you that my articles appear there. It can be done. Trust me. If I can do it, you can do it. Remember that blogging is not a PhD thesis. Blogging is an opinion. And I may agree with your opinion or I may disagree with your opinion. But you have an opinion. And you know what? If you are out there to look for a job, you need to be distinctly different than the other people that compete for the same position that you apply for. One of the ways you can be different is you have a blog. Look into it, take my advice. I want to spend a few more minutes about LinkedIn because this is the most important part that you should participate in. By the way, how many of you have a LinkedIn profile? I don't know if you can.
Alex, I'll tell you this. Every student in my class has one, and because I require that as one of their assignments in my career readiness.
Okay, so thank you very much. And if they don't, they get an F, right?
Yeah, they don't pass. Yes, correct.
Okay, I said it jokingly. Okay, so
I was kidding too.
let's talk about LinkedIn. Again, LinkedIn is there for one reason, to get found. And let me give you an analogy. How many of you remember something, I don't know if it still exists, but there was something in the past called the Yellow Pages. You know, the telephone company Yellow Pages? And the Yellow Pages is a basic listing and advertising of companies. So let's say you have a floral shop and you want to have a listing on your local Yellow Pages. Why? Because if people want to buy flowers, they want to find you. So let's say you pay $20, $30, $80, I even don't know how much it costs, and you have a little rectangle there on page 43 in the upper right-hand corner that says John Doe Floral Shop on Main Street. Okay. Well, this is wonderful, provided that somebody takes the yellow pages in their hand, they are looking for flowers, they open for page 48, and they find you. Otherwise, it's totally a waste of time and money. So LinkedIn is there for you to get found. So what you can do on LinkedIn? First of all, develop relationships with others. Remember, networking is relationship development. LinkedIn is a fantastic platform for that. You can showcase your background and accomplishments. People, employers, HR people have a chance, not only have a chance, they do. I read somewhere 90+% of employers check you out on social media before they invite you for an interview. So yes, definitely they will see your accomplishments. You can gain exposure to hiring managers and recruiters. Again, terrific. You're exposed to them, they see you, they hopefully like what they see and they will invite you. You can also use LinkedIn as a research tool. It's terrific. You can do lots of searches in the area that you're looking for. And again, you can demonstrate your knowledge and your credibility via LinkedIn. Excellent tool. You also can belong to groups of interest to you. I belong to about 48, 50 groups. Occasionally I read what other people write. Occasionally I post there. It's a terrific, terrific tool. Again, when you use LinkedIn, again, we're talking about LinkedIn for the purpose of building relationship. You need to be highly visible. Don't just have a LinkedIn profile and that's it. I have 3 one-hour presentations on various angles how to use LinkedIn effectively. By the way, a little bit bragging, but that's a fact. The maximum first-level connections on LinkedIn is 30,000. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, you will see how many I have. I think I have about 5 or 6 openings still. I have, again, this is first-level connection. On second-level connections, I have 1.6 million people.
Oh, yeah.
On third-level connections, I have 517 million people. By the way, the last statistics I was able to find out about LinkedIn, about 3 months ago, there were 660 million people on LinkedIn. I am connected on the third level with 90+% of those. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I'm active because it helps me get found. This is how people find me and my services. I ask when a new client comes to me, I ask them, oh, by the way, I wonder where did you find my name? 90% of people said, I searched on LinkedIn and you came up. That's exactly why I'm doing this. That's what I want. You should also be very active on LinkedIn, by the way. This is how employers will find you. Like, in quotations, others, postings and articles. You know what the like is. It's from Facebook and so forth. By liking somebody, the LinkedIn algorithm recognizes the fact that you are active, and that gives you power, that gives you some points. Make comments on others' comments. Again, be active. You have to teach LinkedIn algorithm that you are there and you're active, and then you get high rating. Share with your connections. If you have an idea, put it on LinkedIn, share it with them, because the LinkedIn algorithm says if you're active on LinkedIn and if you share your ideas, you must be important. Therefore, you have a high ranking. Give and receive recommendations. Very, very important. I want to move to the second platform, which possibly most of you already use. It's called Facebook. And Facebook is there to promote yourself. It helps you maintain relationship with other people. It helps you create a brand with your connections based on the picture that you put out there and based on what stuff you put on Facebook. They connect with you, and this is how they recognize you. Employers, I told you, employers look you up before they invite you. They definitely can find you if you're active. It shows your personality. And there is a saying in my business: we select for skills, we hire for personality. What brings you to my office for me to interview you is definitely your skills. Skills on your resume and skills on your LinkedIn profile, on Facebook and elsewhere. But now it's about the soft skills. It's about the personality. Facebook helps people identify and recognize your personality. Definitely you can post pictures, you can post videos, which is very important. I want to talk very briefly about Twitter. I don't know if you use it. Twitter is called microblogging and news. You can reach a very large number of people very quickly. You can, again, build a relationship, promote yourself, your articles, your videos. Even if you have somebody else's article and you just pass it on, you retweet it, that gives you recognition. The next platform is Instagram. I don't know how many of you are using it. I suspect you do. Again, it's a photo journal. It has access to employer that want specifically younger people because they know younger people are more active on that. You can build a repetitive community. People come back to you again and again. And you know what? It creates an emotional connections via your photo. That's very important. Okay, we are toward the end. I want to give you the benefit of my knowledge. I want to share with you how can a career coach help you, but I want to emphasize and re-emphasize, I'm not here to promote my business. I'm not here to solicit your business. I'm here to help, and this is the honest reason I'm here. So here is how a career coach can help you. A career coach can create a roadmap that contains job search tools and information. A career coach can give you a lot of information, can help you carve that path. I can tell you, I speak with lots of people, actually lots of young clients of mine are 18, 19, 20-year-old, 22-year-old that come to me and said, so Johnny, what would you like to do? I don't know. Well, you went to college for 4 years. What would you like to do? Well, I really don't. So they really don't know what they want to do. So, a career coach can kind of shift and help you with information. A career coach will not convince you what you need to do in the future. But the career coach can bring you information, can share opinions. They can direct you to articles and material to read. That's the value of a career coach. A career coach can recommend specialists in resume writing and LinkedIn profile writing. I am very, very, very opinionated about this. Again, I've been doing career coaching for 13 years. Guess what a career coach does at the beginning of a career? They write resumes, they help people with LinkedIn profile. After about 2 or 3 years, out of honesty and integrity, I said, I cannot do this any longer. Why? Because I am not excellent. I'm good. sometimes even very good, never excellent. So out of honesty and integrity, I said, I cannot do this anymore, because if I do this, I have to charge you. If I charge you and I don't give you the very, very best, what you really want and what you deserve, then I should step out of it, and that's it. And I did. For the last 10 years, I've never done a resume, I've never done a LinkedIn profile. Yet, ironically, I have three 1-hour presentations about LinkedIn, various aspects of how to use LinkedIn. Also, again, I live in Princeton, New Jersey, and there is a local church that allows me to use their facility twice a year. I already have done it 21 times, which is 10 and a half years. Every 6 months, January and June, I do something that I call, it's a 2.5-hour workshop. I call it Free Resume Tune-Up and LinkedIn Profile Workshop. It's free, so people sign up, people come. The least number I ever had was 45. The most people that attended were 90. And I have to tell you, I know one individual, he came already 3 times to take it. Evidently he likes it. So anyhow, the next, again, if any of you want recommendations of people that do excellent job with LinkedIn and resume writing, please write to me. My last slide will have my contact information. Write to me. I will be happy to give you a list of excellent resume writers. By the way, I learned about them from my clients. They said, this person is very good. And the same person, this person is very good. Okay, then you go on my list. When I hear bad things, you come off my list. So please feel free. I'm here to help you. If you need an excellent resume, LinkedIn profile, come to me, say, Alex, please send me the list. I'll send it to you. And please don't copy me in your email with them, because I have way too many emails coming in. The next thing a resume writer can do, can recommend specialists to identify your next type of a job. Some people, again, finish college, and at that point, they still don't know exactly what they want to do. Under the umbrella of career coaching, there are some people that they don't do what I do, which is interview preparation. They don't do resumes and LinkedIn. They help people identify what direction should they go. And I can tell you this, my own son came to me and said, Dad, I need help. I no longer want to do what I've been doing for the last several years. Can you help me? I said, well, yes and no. I can't help you. Yes, I'm a career coach, but this is not my specialty. So I cannot help you. But I can help you because I'm a good dad and I will pay for it. And actually, I hired somebody to help him. And the last thing, and that's my specialty, I help people improve their interviewing skills. And again, I just want to stop here. I'm not here to solicit your business. So here is my contact information. I would love to be able to help you. And now, Tom, if you want to open it up, I want to answer to their questions.
Okay, I'm in the process of doing that now. All right, everyone has been unmuted and I don't see you on the screen. So does anyone have any questions for Alex? Just say your first name and then shoot away with the questions. Here's your chance.